Oops, wait. Wrong button. What happened here? Hold on. Ah, there we go. Welcome to the Krug Show. That's right. Wednesday on the Krug Show, Tommy T is in the house. We are fired up to have him here. We got a lot to get to. Let's go. Off and running on a Wednesday. Welcome to the middle of December, Wednesday, December 17th. The Krug Show brought to you by Pig and a Pickle. The best barbecue in all of Northern California is Pig and a Pickle. Check them out. They're in Corte Madera. They're in Emeryville. Soon to open a third location in Petaluma. Check them out. Best barbecue in Northern California. Thanks to Damon and Mary, the owners of Pig and a Pickle, for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. As you can see above Tommy's head there, we're also brought to you by Sleeper. We're brought to you by Habbas Law. We'll talk about them in a bit. But T, good to see you, man. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I like the beanie. What is the animal on the beanie there?
It's a warthog, and it's like a character for God. What brewery is it a part of? I just had it on the tip of my tongue.
That's all right.
And I just lost it. Though. It's from a brewery up in Portland. Now you're gonna make me. I'm gonna have to look at it while you're asking me a question, and I'm gonna have to figure this out because it's really pissing me off now. Like I drink their beer all the time. I'm pretty sure I have a beer in my fridge. It's a Great Notion. God, how can I not remember? How can I not remember that? Yeah, Great Notion is an incredible brewery. They're from Portland, and they actually have a little tap room bar over in Berkeley. It's right next to, you know where Spangers is?
Yeah.
The fish, yeah, it's right under, if you keep going past Spangers underneath the bridge, it's right on the left there. And yeah, they got a lot of really, really good beers. So I went in there one time, got some beer, and they're like, hey, you qualified for a free beanie. And I said, don't mind if I do. So I went in there again, and they said, hey, you qualified for a free beanie. I go, I already got one. Thanks, but I appreciate it. Probably when I was like, you know what, maybe slow down a little bit. 2 beanies in like a month. That's probably too much.
You've reached your beanie limit. Since we're co-streaming, we're on my channel and your YouTube channel today. You want to shout out your sponsor? I know Fieldworks is a big sponsor of the Tom Tolbert experience.
Fieldwork, I wish I would have brought the can in. I'll have it tomorrow. We're going to have Drew Remenda on tomorrow, but they just came out with a new beer that they serve down at the Tank. Now, they have their non-alcoholic beer, and Fieldwork is the official non-alcoholic craft beer of the San Jose Sharks, but they have a Pilsner called Toffoli Time. Tyler Toffoli has partnered with Fieldwork and hoping to get him on at some time soon. But it's a really cool can. It's a Pilsner 5.0. I had a couple last night, easy drinking, and I'll share that with everybody tomorrow when we have Drew Remenda on talking Sharks hockey. But, so their first sponsor, our only sponsor. And right now, I love the fact that I can do this and be sponsored by somebody that I'm really good friends with. So, if you're out and about, and by the way, if you happen to be near a Fieldwork, you get 50% off today, your first draft, because Tyler Toffoli scored a goal last night. Bingo.
By the way, how cool was this little scene last night? I'll share the screen on this one. This is Purdy and Kittle opening the doors for the Sharks.
Yep. And Juszczyk was there, I saw. And I think Mac Jones was there as well. They had a bunch of Niners were there last night cheering on the Sharks. So that was really, really cool to see. It's always nice to see other like sports fans who play professional sports, because that's not always the case. There's so many guys I know that play sports, that are around sports, that aren't necessarily the biggest sports fans. So it's fun to see guys like represent at other games and get out there and cheer for some of the other local teams. So that was fun to see last night. Kittle seems like a fucking hockey player anyway.
Oh, dude, I know, seriously. Well, Kittle and Purdy both live in Nashville. They went to a Predators game, and they were all decked out in the jerseys and all. So, it is cool when you get Bay Area athletes. I was talking to Sky Moore in the Niner locker room the other day, and he sat courtside with D-Rob and Pearsall and those guys, and Bourne at a Warrior game recently.
Yeah, I saw them.
they were fired up. He's like, man, it was awesome. It was incredible. So, that's a little perk of being a Niner. You get to sit courtside at the Warrior games.
Yes, it is. Well, a little perk of being a professional athlete. You can always go to the other sports teams in the Bay Area and get tickets. Like we used to go to the Giants games, not a lot. Because the first Giant game I went to, I showed up like I would to like an Angel game. It was like, when was it? August, shorts, t-shirt. And about the fourth inning, I was like, fuck, I got to get out of here. It was like killing me. So I went and stood in the concourse. Actually, I went to an Irish bar and I can't remember the name of it, but it's inside the Stick. And I sat there and watched the game in the bar, had a few Guinnesses because I was like, I can't handle it out there. I'm dying. I'm freezing out. So that was my first introduction to the Stick in August at night. And I never made that mistake again.
So how are you doing, man? How's Lori? How are the kids? How's the grandbaby doing? I know you got the grandbaby daughter, and she's probably, 3 now, 4?
Well, it's been a while. It's been a while for you, Krug. I got two now. 2 grandkids.
Wow.
Yeah, Camila's 5, and Kai is a year and a half.
Wow.
And they're doing great. And so everybody's doing good. Just the hustle and bustle of Christmas and getting ready for that. But yeah, Weston's doing good. Haley's in school. Walker's doing his thing. Him and Elisa live about a mile away, so we see them and Kai all the time. But yeah, he's classic, and Camila is the sweetest thing. So yeah, no, couldn't be better.
It's a blessing to have family, especially nearby. I didn't realize, but I went to Kev my son went to LSU, or went to Niner Saints. So I got some tickets for LSU Florida. We were there in Baton Rouge. And as I was sitting there, I'm texting somebody and they're like, dude, Tolbert and Bergie are there. You were at LSU Florida?
Yeah, it was me, Bergie, my buddy, Steve Davidson, Davey. And then my brother went this year. He hasn't gone before, but we got him out of the house. We pried him out of the house to go on. He's a big Niner fan. So we said, let's go. Let's get out. We're going to go do the Saints game. And then we'll go do LSU and Florida. So yeah, we did that. We did the same trip that you did. And
great weekend. What a weekend.
It was a really fun weekend. I mean, we've done others where it's lasted like a week. Like we went to a couple years ago, or last year we went to Texas at Michigan. And then we were going to go to the Lions and the Rams. They didn't get to that game. And then we drove to Minnesota and saw the Twins and the Angels, the Vikings and the Niners, and then drove back to Madison to see Wisconsin and Alabama. So it could be a 4 or 5 day trip. It could be a week-long trip, depending on how many things we want to see. But we try to do it in September so we can catch some baseball games as well. And then college football. If we can see college football, we'll mix that in. But yeah, I was on the same trip you were. It was fun.
Man, it was humid. It was incredible. I'd never been to Tiger Stadium. It was an experience.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, unbelievable the way they pre-party there. It was absolutely incredible. We had a phenomenal day. What a weekend. It was a terrific weekend. That was an exciting game. We got to spend some time in the quarter. I got to introduce my oldest son to New Orleans and then the Superdome, and the Niners got the win. Let's talk.
There's not much to introduce to New Orleans. It's just strip bars and hurricanes and more strip bars and hurricanes and beer to go and alcohol to go. And it's like, I've seen the quarter. Yeah, I've seen the quarter before. The food's great. So we did the French Quarter. We walked up and down one day, and then that was it. We're like, okay, let's go do something else. I can't do this again.
We did go beignets. Got a couple beignets. Those were amazing.
Yeah, staple.
Yeah,
staple.
What a trip! What a trip!
Yeah.
So let's talk with the Niners. I thought we would do a little football, a little sports potpourri, kind of like we used to do on the show. So why don't we start with the Niners? I mean, they're playing well. Purdy is playing incredible. Their run game. It's like it's not very efficient. They're not really running it well. They're not, the old saying, hey, run the ball, stop the run, you win. Well, they're not really running the ball that well, and they're not really stopping the run, and yet they've won 4 in a row. What do you think, Tom? I mean, what has to happen? I want to see the Niners get that 6th ring. I would love to see them roll through the NFC playoffs and win the Super Bowl at home and get that ring that they maybe should have had earlier. Yeah. What has to happen? Do you have much hope for the Niners, or do you look at them and just say, no, They're incredibly flawed. I don't know who's going to beat them, but somebody's going to beat them, and they're not going anywhere.
No, it's in the middle. Like, they're certainly not the favorites, and they're not the second favorite. They may be the third, right in the third favorite. I think if you were to rank them, the Rams are number 1, Seattle's number 2, although Seattle's hasn't been scoring in the red zone, and they've turned the ball over a little bit. So I think they're vulnerable. Philadelphia's offense has been a wreck all season long. Green Bay just lost Micah Parsons, and I'm still not quite sure about Green Bay. And hell, they might not even make it. I mean, we're not even sure they're going to be in. And then you got the Bears, and who knows what Caleb Williams is going to be like in the postseason. So I think look, they're vulnerable. When they played the Rams the last time, that's the one time this year they were outclassed. Like, they had no chance to win that game. Rams were just better on that day. They're better, and I think they are better than the Niners, but it doesn't mean you can't beat them. You probably have home field advantage if you play them at their place in the playoffs. Niner fans travel incredibly well to SoFi. So I don't know if anything. I mean, man, I think they've maxed out, Krug. I don't know if anything needs to happen. Like, they need to do this better. They haven't run the ball. They're not going to run the ball. They may do it here, maybe a little bit here, a little bit there, but it's not going to be consistent. Brock Purdy looked the healthiest he's looked since the first half of game 1. I thought your guys are who your guys are, right? Your defense is what your defense is. It doesn't get to the quarterback incredibly well, especially if Huff doesn't get to the quarterback. The linebackers are still really good. When Bethune's healthy and Winters is playing, they're still really good. And the secondary is good enough. Like, I think it's a solid secondary. It's good enough. They're going to need a few breaks, win turnover battle, stuff like that. Like, I've been saying for a couple of weeks now, Krug, that this is the most fun I've had watching a Niner season because it's so unexpected. The losses they've had and the caliber of players that they've lost and the number of games they've lost them for, I mean, it's stunning they're actually in this thing and still have a chance to get the number 1 seed. So whatever happens, like, I'm not going to say, oh my gosh, they blew this, they screwed. Like, there have been other seasons where I'm like, they're the best team. They have a great chance to win a Super Bowl. I think if they were to win the Super Bowl this year, it'd be one of the most unlikely Super Bowls we've seen in quite some time.
And yet, you know what? I know we both have a lot of admiration for Shanahan. I think this might be Shanahan's best deal. I mean, I think this might be his best go-around as far as, as you said, there's been a ton of adversity. There's no Warner. There's no Bosa. They've lost Mikael Williams. I mean, the Purdy missed half the season.
Yep.
There's just been
Ayuk missed the whole season.
I mean, how about this? If I told you in July, Ayuk and Pearsall and DeMarcus Robinson are going to have 4 fewer touchdowns in mid-December than Jake Tonjes.
Yeah.
You would have said there's no way they're going to be good at all. And yet they're, they potentially could get the number 1 seed. So it just kind of shows, there's a lot of good quality football players in that room. To me, what has to happen to win it all, CMC has to stay healthy. You got to have it.
Yeah,
right?
given.
That's a given. Purdy, I think, has to continue to be great. I mean, this last game, he completed 77% with 3 touchdowns. Now, granted, it's Tennessee, but I think he has to be great. Some receiver who can run, whether it be Pearsall, Cowing, Watkins, I don't know, Javon Baker, somebody has to emerge as a receiver that can, stretch the field a little bit, at least be that threat. Special teams has to continue to be really good.
Yeah.
Tatum Bethune, I think, needs to come back because he had 10 plus tackles in 5 of the last 6 games that he played. They're just an absolute joke against the run since he left. So he's got to get back in there. The young DBs have to continue their kind of slow, steady ascent. And then just somebody up front's got to fire. Keon White, Cleve Farrell, Sam O, Robert Beal, CJ West, Alfred Cole, somebody's got to play crazy good ball. Maybe it's Keon White, maybe it's Cleve Farrell. If all of those things happen, they have a real shot. I like their.
I hate to break it to you, Krug. If you haven't fired by this point of the season, you're probably not firing. Yeah, you probably are who you are. But you did hit on something I thought I didn't even hit on because I've stricken it from my mind. I don't even want to think about. I when it comes to 49ers, I don't think special teams. I don't too many scars. You don't want to think about special teams because they've been so bad.
Yeah,
so bad. And I know Shanahan is of the opinion, just don't fuck it up. Just
right.
don't.
And then he told us
they
that.
Continue to fuck it up
that
over and over and over and over again. And this year, aside from a few games early in the season where Sky Moore continued to catch punts inside the 5, and I'm like, bro, what are you doing? So he almost cost him a game against Arizona where Purdy took the sack and it was a safety, and they came down and scored. Almost cost him that game. But since then, his return game has been really good. Really good. Eddie Pinheiro, or as Brent Jones likes to call him, Mucho Pinheiro, has been fantastic. Hasn't missed a field goal this year. The one he missed, 15-yard penalty. Let's wipe that off and let's go ahead and kick another one. That one's good. So the special team has been phenomenal. And in a season like this where, you're not quite whole and you get those type of contributions, like you need those type of contributions. You want to win the special teams, not just break even, as Kyle says, which normally I'm okay with. Like, just don't screw it up. We're good. You need to win it, and they are winning it. I saw something in the Athletic a couple of days ago, like the I don't know what the stat was. I don't think it was like a DVOA or whatever it was, Environmental Protection Agency, EPA. I don't know what it was, but
right.
It was something that said they were like plus 7.1 from last year, like, which would be one of the greatest year-to-year jumps of all time in special teams. So special teams has been fantastic this year. But yeah, I mean, McCaffrey, obviously, like if something were to happen, it's amazing, Krug. I talked about this yesterday, that his workload is massive this year. It's massive, and he's managed to stay healthy. I thought Brian Robinson Jr. would be in there to spell him more. He really hasn't been. He's run a little bit here, a little bit there, but it's basically Pop Warner football. Hand it off to Christian McCaffrey, throw it to Christian McCaffrey. If they could have Christian McCaffrey throw it to himself, they might do that too. Just like, here, do everything, like in Pop Warner. Like, who's 12? How come he always has the ball? That's Christian McCaffrey. So he means everything to that offense. And then to your point about speed, if they could get somebody that could be a threat down the field, we were talking about this a few weeks ago, that opens up the running game a little bit more. Not just the passing game, but the running game, because you got to be worried about that threat getting behind you. I think everyone's so compacted down near the line of scrimmage now that there's nowhere for McCaffrey to run. He has no holes to hit. So if he gets a 5-yard gain, it's like, oh my God, that was an incredible run for 5 yards. But I think right now 3.6 yards a carry is going to be his career low if he ends up at 3.6 yards per carry, but it just goes to show you how much he still means to this team.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, they use him so much. I mean, they absolutely have to have him fully healthy. I think they got a shot. It's a weird vibe in their room. They got Trent and Kittle and CMC, and these guys are all so serious and intense about. It's like they know that they got a shot. They know they probably every one of those guys believes they should have already had a ring. But this year, there's this kind of vibe, like we're gonna finish this with utmost seriousness. Like the last couple of weeks of Trent Williams have been spectacular, and there's a seriousness about all these guys that have gotten close. And I just get the feeling that there's this resolve to get it done. Now, I don't know if they can. I think they're gonna have to get lucky. Somebody's gonna have to knock off the Rams. I don't think the Niners can beat the Rams. I really don't. I know they already did, but I think that was a very fortunate game. I don't think the Niners could beat the Rams. But if somebody could beat the Rams for them, I think all the other teams in the NFC, maybe outside of Detroit, but they're on the outside looking in right now.
Yeah.
I think the Niners could beat everybody but Detroit or LA in the NFC.
Yeah, I mean, I have no doubt the Niners could beat Detroit. Detroit wouldn't scare me at all. I mean, especially now that Branch has gone down, their defense is just. I mean, I don't think you have much trouble moving the ball against them. And offensively, they just haven't been quite the same team as they were last year. The Rams are the one, right? The Rams are the one, and what you have going for you if you were to get to the playoffs, which we're all assuming that they are. It's like 90+%. But here's what gives me hope. That they can beat the Rams, that they play the Rams incredibly tough. Their record against the Rams, Kyle Shanahan versus McVay, really I don't know exactly what it is, but it's got to be really good in Shanahan's favor. You're going to be playing down there, no home field advantage. They play down there a ton. So they understand getting down there, the travel, the hotel. It's very familiar to them, and you're going to have more fans than they are. I mean, hell, the Rams might have to go to a silent count if they were to play. So I do think now, will they be underdogs? Yeah, of course they'll be underdogs. They'll probably be close to a touchdown underdog, I would say. Maybe 6, 5, 6, 7, somewhere, maybe even more. I don't know. But they will definitely be underdogs. But I do give them a chance to beat them because of the familiarity and what Shanahan has done against them. Like, I can't take last game and just say, okay, that's going to be the next game, because that was the Rams just rolling and the Niners just didn't have it that game. And okay, whatever, that was one game. But I mean, they are the best team in the NFC for a reason, maybe the best team in football for a reason. They're really, really good. They got weapons all over the place. Let's see how, Devontae Adams, that hamstring, sometimes those last a while. So it could be a couple of weeks, could be 4, could be 8. Who knows? With hamstrings, I mean, you never know with hamstrings. So we'll see. But again, that's the thing. When I watch this season, I'm looking at this season and following the Niners, I don't even really think about that. I just think about, man, that'd be great for them to get into the playoffs and then just take some swings and see what happens. Because by all accounts, this team shouldn't even be in the playoffs. I mean, the last place schedule helps. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah,
but the first 2 wins of the season were the biggest, right? They could have lost both of those. It'd have been 0-2, and then all of a sudden this season looks totally different. But they win both of them, and they won a few more games along the way where you're like, oof, that was dicey. But they have this resolve to them, and I mean, you're talking about 2 of the best players at their respective positions in Warner and Bosa that have missed most of the season, which is and their 2 best defensive players, which have missed. You're taking your number 1 wide receiver, and he's gone for the whole year. So you're missing him. You're taking your quarterback, who, like, I know some people, for whatever reason, still like dinging Brock Purdy, which is classic to me. Because it's like, don't you want to root for a guy who is like, he's the guy you would think everyone would want to root for. Like, God, this is such a great story. Last pick in the draft. It's amazing. Look what he's doing. And all he gets is shit. Like, he doesn't do this. He doesn't do that. It's all the weapons that he has and everything.
Shanahan.
Well, we're going to find out. Yeah, it's Shanahan. They every excuse you want to, like, instead of just saying, wow, this is a really, really cool story. So I do believe when I look at where they're at right now, based on where they could have been, that gives me reason to believe that they could do something. But again, it's not like, 19 or a couple of years ago. It's not like you better get this done because this team isn't going to be together forever. And you guys have the best talent in the NFL, at least top 2 or 3. I just feel like this team has managed to fucking somehow, some way, with Saleh being back and Shanahan working his magic and the players doing their thing and just fighting, that they put themselves in a position to give themselves a chance. And for me this year, that's good enough. Like, whatever happens. Love to see him make a run. Love to see him make a run. They don't. I mean, let's put it this way. I've had a lot of fun watching this team this year. It really has been a lot of fun.
I think it's the best coaching staff that Shanahan and Lynch regime has had, because now you got Boyer, you got Saleh back, you got Shanahan on probably his best year. I think it's a really well coached team. Everybody hit like and subscribe on your way in and out, and subscribe to both channels. If you haven't subscribed to the Tom Tolbert channel yet, do. If you haven't subscribed over here, please do. We appreciate all you guys.
You got a goatee. You fucking going goatee there?
No, me. I don't go with the mustache because I can't stand the mustache.
Going down there?
I always go with the
you got like the starter kit. You got the starter kit going.
When it gets too long, but I don't like the mustache, and I don't like the mutton chop, and I gotta shave like for my hairline.
Give it a shot just for the hell of it. Give the mustache. give the mustache.
See, I like what you. See, ideally, I like your hair. Your setup there, where you got the chin
like
going.
My setup.
But right now you're going mustache free. Now you'll go mustache full go.
I will.
Seen that.
I
kind of like
that,
this.
Yes.
I like the chin with the. I don't know. It's just.
Well, this is my normal look. This is normal. I don't do the mustache very often. I did it for whatever reason because I just wanted to do something different. And the problem is, anybody, my wife, you take a drink of water, your mustache gets wet, and then you get a goodnight kiss or whatever, and it's like, it's so the mustache, right. Oh God. So, and I was done. I was kind of done with it anyway. I would say for the last 30 years, I've had this Billy Goat thingy. And I've added a few things to it here and there. The mustache, I did a full beard during COVID and all that. But yeah, this is my normal. This is kind of the normal.
Don't you sometimes go with the soul patch underneath right up here?
A little bit, yeah. Every once in a while, I'll do that. And like my son said, Dad, when you're bald, you have to have some facial hair. You just do. You can't look like a baby's ass with a mouth and eyes. It just doesn't work. You can't have the total smooth face, smooth head. You gotta have something. So yeah. So I just go with the King Tut or the Colonel Sanders or whatever it is.
The really Colonel matter. Sanders.
That's right.
We have one super here, and oftentimes my audience will greet me this way: "F you, Larry. You're awesome. You're awesome. Thanks for the great content." I worked with a guy in the Canadian League, Bill Urbanek, and after a while he just started calling me "Fuck you, Larry." And so that became, nice. Yeah. So that became my nickname. So anytime I run into David Archer or any of the guys on the team that used to be like, "Hey, it's F you, Larry. What's up, F you?" So anyway,
that's okay. Nelly used to call me "Goddamn it, Tolbert."
There you go.
I told Nelly one time, I go, "Hey, can you sign my checks to Goddamn it, Tolbert? Can you just write and make them out to Goddamn it, Tolbert?" He goes, "I don't know if you're gonna be able to." He goes, "I don't know if you're gonna be able to cash it." I go, "I still want one. I want a check that says God damn it." And I wish they could write it the way he said it. It was always "God damn it, Tolbert." It just did just like that, but I never got one.
Oh, I miss Don Nelson. We should tell everybody 49er football season is presented by Sleeper, the fastest growing fantasy platform in the world. It's a one-stop shop. You get blazing fast news, real-time stats, group chat, season-long leagues, and of course, Sleeper picks. For daily fantasy, use promo code Larry. Sleeper will match your first deposit up to $100. Links in the description. Terms and conditions do apply. And I probably should have been a little bit more adept in putting this on the board. But yes, thanks to Sleeper for being a proud sponsor of the Krueger Show. And here is there it is. Get a $100 deposit match up to $100. Use code Larry. Thanks to Sleeper. We love you, Sleeper. I love my wife. I love my kids, but I really, really love Sleeper. Anyway, you guys know.
God, I hope that was written down. I hope you just didn't say that off the top of your head. Good Lord.
That genius just came right here, man.
I hope that's
right. That's right there with the thong. That's right there with the thong bet. You know, I mean, it's like
tell them you want to have a wager where if you lose, you got to wear a thong to work for a week.
Oh no! Don't even remind me. I can still remember the feeling of that. It was just an awful.
Those things are incredible. I like the lime green one. I look good on you.
Oh my gosh, it was awful. What a terrible bet. Then I just echoed you constantly. I'm like, Tolbert, you sick fuck. You went with this idea. And then, of course, the producers, everybody was like, "Hey, let's go with it."
I wasn't even involved with it.
Unbelievable.
Oh man!
All right, let's. We want to do a potpourri of topics. So normally I do tons of Niners, but let's slide over and do some Warriors here because there's an interesting Warriors story. Warriors lose Sunday night in Portland, 136-131. Joe Lacob then had this brief email interaction with a fan, and it wound up on Reddit, which became public. The guy's name is Justin Datari. He sent Lacob a critical note minutes after the game. He basically just said that they need a better second option and that Jimmy Butler's tools are being underutilized and blaming the lack of positional size. Of course, we know the Warriors are small. And the guy just said, "Hey, man, I'm so frustrated." Lacob, who's kind of like a super fan in his own right, sent back a response. He says, "You can't be as frustrated as me. I'm working on it. It's complicated. Style of play, coaches' desires regarding players, league trends. Jimmy is not the problem." And then this guy published it on Reddit, and the Warriors event later confirmed, that was Joe. And it's kind of brought, the Warriors are 13-14. They're in 8th place in the West. They've been a little bit of a disappointment. They're looking a little older. And Kerr's under contract for the final year this year. There's all kinds of speculation that him and Joe are feuding. Kerr said, no, that's not the case. This is just normal communication that goes on. Dunleavy's backing Kerr. Lacob's backing Kerr. But what do you think, Tom? I mean, what is your general overview thought on what Golden State has given us? Are we going to see a Kuminga trade? Is he not worth anything? And what do you make of their struggles? I just look at it as they're an older team. Their time has come and gone. and it's a young man's game. But I don't know what you do the broadcast with Tim Roy for the home games. What do you think?
Let me first and foremost say this, that it almost doesn't matter what I say about Steve because he's one of my best friends.
Sure.
But for those people that want, if I can get rid of Steve or think they'd be better off without Steve, I can enjoy your 4 championships, okay? Because this team wasn't even close to winning a championship before he got there. And you'd say, well, they're going to win with Mark Jackson. Not with that offense, they weren't. Not with that offense. And I like Mark. Mark was a teammate of mine. After the Warrior job, what's the next job Mark Jackson had?
Right.
I'll wait.
No jobs.
No, I won't because we don't have that much time. So Steve's not the issue at all. In fact, he's part of the solution. It's just it's harder when the guys are getting older. I'll get to that in a minute. As far as this Dutari yo-yo, you forgot to mention the fact that he's 27 years old. So basically his entire Warrior life that he's been conscious, they've been really, really good, and they've won championships, and he thinks this is the way it's supposed to fucking be. Hey, Justin, Jason, whatever the fuck your name is, go back and get some DVDs from like 96, 98, 99, 2002. Watch those. And then maybe you'll appreciate what you got a chance to see over the better part of a decade. And look, this is who Joe is. Joe's going to answer the email, whatever, because like you said, he's a fan as well as the owner, but he doesn't owe those people. Maybe he thinks he does. He doesn't owe them explanations. This guy's spent over $400 million on rosters that had, maybe not a great chance to win a championship, but a chance. And if they have a chance, Joe's going to spend. He's just going to spend money because he wants to win. He's not one of these owners that looks and says, you know what? Is this financially responsible to do something like this? His first thought is, does this make us better? Does this get us closer to a championship? Do we have a chance to win a championship? And if we do, screw it. Let's spend it. Let's go ahead and spend it. I mean, scared money doesn't make money, as they say. So, and he doesn't have scared money. That's why they're able to win championships, build the arena, Chase over in San Francisco. So that when I read that, and then you're gonna do the douchebag thing and get a response back from the owner, and then put it on Reddit. I mean, scumbag. I mean, just go ahead and save that, show it to your buddies if you want to. You don't need to put it on Reddit. Like, hey, look at me. I fired off an email that I was upset, and I sent it to the owner, and he sent me back an email, and now I'm going to share it with everybody because I'm lonely. I mean, fucking come on. What are you just watch the game? Look, here's the reason they are where they are. They had a shot. Their 2 timelines thing, which I agreed with at the time, was fine. You got the vets. You want some young guys. You want the vets to teach the young guys, and by the time the young guys are ready to go, the vets are ready to take a secondary role. A couple of things were wrong with that ended up being wrong with that. Again, I'm not going to say that I was critical of it to begin with because I wasn't. One, who knew that Steph and Draymond were going to be as good as they were as long as they were? That was really the crux of it. Those guys were fantastic. They gave him a chance to win a championship. Steph's performance against the Celtics was an all-timer. Didn't know that Clay would be able to come back and play at that level. Jordan Poole, I could go on and on with that team and how they're able to win that year, but they weren't even favored that year. Like in years past, they were favored. Even when they lost finals, they were favored against Cavs. They were favored against the Raptors. They weren't favored this time. I think the Celtics were a small favorite in that series. So they beat them. That was one they probably didn't expect to get that they got. That kind of reset the timeline a little bit. It's like, oh, shit, we're still in this thing. We still have a chance. Now, the second problem was Wiseman wasn't very good. And you didn't have a whole lot of wiggle room there. Anthony Edwards always goes Minnesota. They weren't going to take LaMelo Ball. They just weren't. They already had Steph. They weren't going to have LaMelo Ball. They needed a big guy. He'd only played 3 college games, but the athleticism and upside seemed too great to pass up. So they get him, and it just didn't work, right? It's COVID. He didn't get the coaching he needed. He got injured. It didn't work. It happens. Then they get Kuminga at 7. Incredible trade with, I forgot to even mention Wiggins. Wiggins was phenomenal during that playoff run where they beat the Celtics. But then that was an incredible trade, right? D'Angelo Russell, for Wiggins, and you get a pick back that ends up being Kuminga. Well, some people love Kuminga. Some people lukewarm on Kuminga. Some people don't really like Kuminga. Anyway, whatever the case may be, he hasn't turned out to what they would hoped he would be. And I think they would do it. They might do it again, even though when I talked to Bob Myers, he said probably not. They're going to go for the upside there. But, if you're trying to win championships and you have one of the best players in the game, you're going to try to get players that complement him. Kuminga clearly does not complement Steph Curry. He's not a natural catch it, move it, cut it, do this, do that. I mean, he just instinctually, he's not a great basketball player. I think the game's hard for him sometimes. He has to think through the game without catching and knowing exactly where to be. Like Draymond's at one end, Kuminga's somewhere over here. I don't know where, but he's somewhere over there. And Draymond, it just flows in his head. The whole game just flows to him. Boop, 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 boop. Where Kuminga, boop, 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 boop. So there's a lot of reasons, Krug, why, and it's hard. It's fucking hard to stay on top forever and be competitive forever. Yeah. The Spurs got lucky. They had Duncan and Robinson, and then it was Parker and Ginobili, and then they decided, Tim Duncan said, okay, look, I'm going to take a back seat. Those guys can run the show. We're going to be a little more up-tempo. I'll be more defense. I'll be here if you need me down on the block, but let's run our motion offense and do all that kind of stuff. And then Kawhi Leonard happened. And that extended the window for another 5-7 years, whatever it was. It is hard to do what the Warriors did, but to stay on top and everybody expects they're just going to continue to stay on top forever. It's shocking. And I shouldn't be surprised because you get these Warrior fans, Krug, that have been around for 10, 15 years. They think this is the way it is. It's the way it's supposed to be. You're always supposed to win. Is Steph going to fucking play till he's 70 and we're just going to have a chance to win a championship every single year? No. That's not the way. It's not the way it's going to be.
It's really, really hard to win.
Really, really, really hard to win. And I'm not saying you have to say, "Oh, I'm happy for what we have. I don't want any more." You don't have to say. Of course, you want more. Joe Lacob wants more. He always wants more. He doesn't even care about the championships in the past. He wants these moving forward. But I think there also has to be an understanding of where we are, how we got here, and how hard it is. You can't just say, let's do this, boom, we're going to win. We're championship contenders again. It doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. They had one of the greatest runs in NBA history. They were one of the most dominant teams in NBA history. It doesn't last forever. So for, people that want to fire off emails to the owner and then get them back and post them on Reddit, get some friends, get a fucking dog or something, get a lizard. Seriously. Get a lizard, put it in an aquarium or whatever, just throw it over there.
Start a coin collection. You know what I mean? You need a hobby.
Get a koi pond.
Get a koi pond.
Kois. Yeah, exactly. Build your pond. Just fucking stop bothering people, for God's sake. When I read he was 27, I'm like, oh, get the fuck out of here. I mean, come on. I mean, geez, right. Go back. Like I said, go back to 98 and watch some games.
Exactly. Let me introduce you to Bobby Sura, and then you come back and tell me how bad things are. let me remind you about, Donyell Marshall, and then we can talk.
We had the Montego Cummings era. We had, it was just bad basketball.
Chris Mills and Gugliotta and all that stuff.
Well, I can't say anything bad about Chris Mills because he's my Arizona Wildcat and he might kick the shit out of me. Who knows? Chris Mills a bad dude.
Remember when Chris Mills wanted to block the exit for the Blazers?
Oh, he did block him. Yeah, he stood in front of the Portland Trailblazer bus. He wanted to get on the bus and let's go. I was like, oh God, this guy's a little bit nuts. Arizona, we don't get the General or Lou. That's not the type of player we get. We didn't get the kind of the hard ass. They were pretty much, you could fit. I don't want to say in a box, but it wasn't that type of player that was just hard. And Chris Mills was hard. So we got him who's hard, and then we have the outlier of Gilbert Arenas who's just fucking nut. He's just absolutely nutty. So anyway,
is there a Kuminga destination that makes sense?
I don't know. Well, I don't know. What's he been a DNP CD in the last 3 games?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure exactly what the value is. I will say this, even if he doesn't play, there'll be some value for him because there are going to be some teams out there that look at him and say, we could use that athleticism. He's young. We can mold him and we can give him the role that he wants. And what he wants is to be a number 1 or number 2 option. That's what he wants. That's what he thinks he can handle. That's what he thinks is his destiny, so to speak. But right now, that's not his destiny. His destiny right now is to run the court, hit the glass, cut, play defense. That's it. That's it. That will help the team because they don't have anybody else that can do that. They don't have anybody of his athleticism. They don't have anybody that can attack the glass the way he does. They don't have anybody that can run the court the way he does. And defensively, he can be pretty good on the ball. Off the ball, he gets lost sometimes. And that's where I'm talking about basketball instincts and just things are a little bit harder. They don't click. Like Draymond off the ball, boom. He knows where they're going. He knows what you're trying to do, and he's going to beat you to the spot. Jonathan sometimes, more times than not, is a half beat behind the play. But that's what he needs to do to help this team win. And he's getting $23 million for just doing that. He's going to make his money. He's going to be in this league a while, okay? There are going to be teams out there that look at him and say, we can offer you that opportunity to be a number 1 or a number 2 option. And another thing, too, Krug, if I may, the problem goes back a few years in when Jonathan was younger and Moody was, young, and people are like, why aren't they developing these guys? And I kept telling them, because they're trying to fucking win championships. That's why, okay?
That wasn't the priority.
Number 1. That was priority number 1
right.
And number 2. Jonathan Kuminga and Moody and any young player they had in that little window there, if they were playing for the Houston Rockets or Detroit Pistons or name another team, they would have said, here's your 35 minutes, go work through everything. You're going to make mistakes. We're totally cool with that. You're going to take bad shots. Cool with that. We're not cool with it, but we're going to let you work through those mistakes. You're going to mess up defensively. We're going to fix it, but we're going to keep you out there so you keep learning because they didn't. I don't want to say they didn't care about winning. It wasn't priority number 1. Priority number 1 for those teams was developing young talent and hopefully getting to a point where you can compete for a championship. But when you're at the point where you compete for a championship, you owe the guys that can compete for a championship the chance to compete for a championship. Not having some young guy come in there and make mistakes and cost you a game or two down the stretch or cost you a game or two in the play. You can't do that. So for those that were saying, well, Curt doesn't know how to develop young players. Steve was fucking trying to win championships, okay? He owed Steph, and you can't have it both ways. You can't say, oh, you're wasting Steph's prime. You're not trying to win a championship, and well, let's develop the players too. And then people say, well, you can do both. But if you can, okay, yeah. I mean, if you want, go ahead. If it makes you feel better, go ahead and say that to yourself. But your number 1 priority is to win. For Steph, for Wiggins, for Draymond, for Clay at the time, for all those guys, all the guys that were part of the core, they're not there to watch guys transition from rookies to vets. They're there to try to win championships. So, I mean, I get a little fired up about it because there's stuff that I read and it doesn't bother me usually because they're fans and they're passionate about it, and I respect that. I'm glad they're passionate about it. But some of the stupid shit that comes out of people's mouth and stuff they hit send on when they get their Twitter accounts, it does. It frustrates me sometimes because I'm like, you just throw shit out there. You got a fucking egg for a face, and then you don't make any sense whatsoever. And then I try to make sense to them, Krug, and they're like, well, of course you're going to say that. You're Steve's best friend. I go, no, of course I'm going to say that because I fucking know basketball. That's why I'm going to say that. Right. Listen, I'm trying. I'm like Tom Cruise. Let me help me help you. Help me help you. That's what I'm trying to do.
I hate to say it, but I mean, I've kind of lost my connection to Cyrus because of how he blew up at me on the Kerr thing. And I basically said he was getting a little love for his channel because the Emperor Has No Clothes take that he was having, Kerr can't develop young players. Okay. So he rode that a little bit. And finally I said, Cy, you're talking about one of the best coaches in NBA history. I go, look at the NBA GM survey. most of the guy, Steve is like 1, 2, or 3 on all of the good questions of who are the best coaches.
Yeah.
And then he the guy, Cy went crazy. He called me a liar and all this crap. Finally, I'm like, dude, you're losing your mind, dude. Trying to tell us that Kerr sucks. It's like, dude, what about the parades? What about the championships? What about the rings? I just think that, people get a little too close to it. They're frustrated. The bottom line is that 2-timeline approach, it worked for the Spurs, but it's a very complicated thing, and it needs the right elements. And if you don't have the right elements, it's not going to work. It hasn't worked.
Yeah. Well, Krueger, I think the 2-timeline for the Spurs worked because Duncan took a back seat.
Right.
Steph wasn't ready to take a back seat, nor should he have, because he was still a alpha in that he could lead a team to a championship. He could be the best player on a team that wins a championship, and he did in 2022. So it wasn't quite equal. And I always tell people this: if you want the Warriors to fire Kerr, here's how I can almost guarantee that you're going to know you've made a mistake. They will fire Kerr, and within a week, if he wanted it, he would have a job. A week,
sure,
he would have a job. People want to get rid of Kyle Shanahan. Within a week, he would have a job. And look, I'm even including holidays, so it may be a work week, but it could be 3 or 4 days. But that's how you know you're wrong. When an industry says, "Oh shit, you don't want that guy? We'll take him." Well, hey, over here, we want you to coach for our team, and not just one. It'd be multiple offers for both those guys. So, I get it. It's the world we live in. Everybody gets frustrated. They want to fire the coach because, and I'm not sure when this happened, Crew. Back when I was playing, people used to blame the players more. Now everybody blames the coaches. Like, nobody blames the players. And I'm more of a blame the players, give the players credit type guy because they're the ones out on the court and the field doing the work. So give the coaches credit, but it's still mostly about the players being able to do and execute what they're asked to do. So I don't get too much into the coaching, a little bit. But everybody else seems to think they can coach. And it's because of analytics, and it's because of websites they can go to that shows you the best lineups an NBA team has. Right. Like, if it was that fucking easy, would you just play that lineup all the time? And then when they come out, play the next lineup. And you can't lose. It's the same stupid logic when they show it on an NFL game. They're like, so-and-so team is 42-0 when so-and-so has 20 carries in a game. And that'd be like saying, well, fucking just give him the ball 20 times in a row. You can't lose. Right. I mean, it's that simple. I can coach. Look at this.
Right.
Hand off. Hey, did we win yet? Oh, 20? Oh, 21. Oh, we got to win now. So, I mean, and look, there's a good side to it because it gets fans more engaged with the sport, and more engagement is good. It's good for the sport. It's good for us. People want to talk about it. But settle down. Deep breath. You're not a coach. You can't coach. And it's not that simple to just look at some stat sheet and go, whoa, shit, do that. He hits 340 against him. Just bat him against him and bat him and pitch him against him. And how can we lose? How can we lose? Anyway.
I mean, it's the bottom line is there's a lot going on. There's talent, there's egos, and you got to, nobody, to me, Steve Kerr is a great coach. Why? Because over the course of a year, his teams grow together, not apart. That Celtics championship that they won against Boston, they weren't the best team, but they grew together. Other teams fractured, and that's how they won. I thought Phil was great at keeping the thing together. Steve has taken that, I think, and brought it here. He's really good at that. 2 more supers here. We got this one from Harry Johnson. Yes. He says, F you, Larry. Glad you're feeling better, dude. Thank you. A little stuffed up. John Kalua says, if Mac Jones becomes a top trade target, what do you think it would take for the Niners to trade him? Second rounder, who becomes the veteran backup? All I would say on the Mac Jones thing is, before you get rid of him, he may want out. He probably does want out to go start somewhere. But if you keep him next year, you get a 3rd-round pick at the end of the year. So I think I probably want more than a 2nd-round pick to trade him, because if I'm going to trade him, I'm getting that 2nd-round pick, but I don't have the quarterback, or I can keep the quarterback and get a 3rd. So in the following draft. So I think I would ask for, a 2nd-round pick and maybe another pick or maybe a player. But I do think at some point Mac may whisper in Shanahan and Lynch's ear, "Hey, I love it here. Thank you. Send me somewhere." That'll be my guess. And they probably will.
I think you want to do right by the player too.
Yeah.
I think you want to do right by the player, because if you do right by the player, then more players want to come play for you. It's not just about doing what's right all the time for the team in terms of like bottom line. It's let's make this a place that players want to come and play because they know they can come here, especially quarterbacks. And Sam Darnold came here, went on to sign a nice contract, had a really good year with the Vikings, and maybe Mac Jones does the same thing with another team. But then if you don't have Mac Jones, there's going to be another quarterback out there that says, well, hell, look what he did for Darnold and look what he did for Jones. And he let Jones out of the contract a year early. Now, I mean, they're not going to give him away, of course, but if you get something relatively comparable and you feel like, hey, this can benefit our team, but it also can benefit us as an organization because players going to be like, I want to play there. I want to play for Shanahan. I want to play for the 49ers. So, I mean, but it's still tricky because you want to have a backup quarterback, but I mean, man, he may be the best value as far as quarterbacks are concerned in the league this year because he didn't get paid much and he won a whole bunch of games for him. So, I mean, he's been pretty awesome.
Well, not only that, I mean, he walked into a room where somebody else is the leader, and he found a way to lead for 8 games without stepping on anybody's toes. I'm very impressed by Mac Jones. I talked to him a couple times, and I'm like, wow, this guy's got way more to him than I thought he had when he came out of Alabama. I wouldn't have been so negative on Mac Jones coming out of the draft if I'd known that he was, this kind of a guy, really solid guy, really smart guy. So we'll see. Let's finish up on some baseball and some college ball, some college football. Giants. I know you're talking to Flem. I know you've been doing some Giants stuff on your channel. What do you think? I mean, I'm sick of the Dodgers being on top. I understand the Giants are Giants are rich. The Dodgers are rich. The Giants are talking about maybe signing this kid Imai from Japan. Yeah, they're the favorite to sign him. According to the predictors, but there's other guys out there. I mean, what do you think Buster ought to do? Do you Kyle Tucker, Cody Bellinger, Framber Valdez, this Tatsuya Imai? They just picked up Adrian Hauser yesterday from the White Sox. I thought that was
I saw
nice.
that.
That was a nice pickup. He pitched well against the Giants in Chicago last year. What do you think? What do you think of Buster, and what do you think? Who should he go after?
Well, look, in terms of the Dodgers, I mean, if Ohtani wanted to come here, he could have. If Yamamoto wanted to come here, he could have. If Suzuki wanted to come here, they all wanted to go to the Dodgers. You can't make someone go to your club. And in terms of Ohtani cut off the negotiations with teams. Everybody had the same bid. He goes, This is good. This is fine. I'm going to pick now. And then he did. You can't just go put a guy down on the ground and put him in a sleeper hole and go, pick us, you fucker, pick us the Giants. No, he's like, I want to go to the Dodgers. So what are you going to do? I wouldn't even be concerned with the Dodgers. I'd just be concerned with getting to the playoffs, see if we can get to 90 wins somehow. The problem with them signing anybody of consequence is I think they took care of that last year when they traded for Devers. He's making a crap load of money. And then they signed Adames to a big contract. They signed Chapman to a big contract. Dave and I talked about this yesterday. The problem is right now the outfield defense isn't very good. Ramos was brutal last year in left field, and Lee wasn't as good as I thought he would be in center field. So they you have to be able to catch the ball. When the Giants teams were really good when they're winning World Series and everything, you didn't get extra 90 feet on them. They scooped the ball, they picked it. You didn't get extra outs. Now you get extra outs on them, you get extra 90 feet on them, and it's just you can't do that when your margin for error isn't quite as big. So obviously if Eldridge was a player, that would be huge. That would just lengthen the middle of the order. But God, they need pitching. I didn't think going into last year, I thought, well, at least they have pitching. Coming out of last year, I'm like, Jesus, they really need some pitching. They need starting pitching. They need back into the bullpen pitch. They need pitching. I've never seen a team go from oh, they're going to be good to what the hell happened so fast? At least in my mind, the back end of your bullpen is shot. You traded Duvall. Walker flamed out at the end of the year. Rodriguez got hurt. That was the back end of your bullpen. Oh, and Rogers who I know is a personal favorite of yours.
He just got paid.
He did $38 million.
Wow.
I was happy for him.
Yeah,
like that, he just seems like a really good dude, and he's worked his ass off and been in the big leagues forever, and he finally gets that type of money. So good for him. That's really, really cool. And then the starting pitching, right? You got Webb, you got Ray, and it felt like they had to win every single time they took the ball. Yeah. And then Verlander had some starts toward the end of the year, end of the year, they were pretty good. But the young guys just no. I mean, Harrison they trade. Birdsong couldn't throw a strike. Wisenhunt needs a third pitch. Roop
is good, but he wore down.
Yeah, I like Roop, but I think Roop probably is a top end 3, maybe. I was thinking 4, but I think he can be in your rotation, I believe. But Fleming seemed to think that Birdsong was like one of the most, if not the most important player in the organization right now, because he has the top. He says he has the top end ability and has the top end stuff to be like a dominant guy with his, but he's got to be able to throw strikes. He's got to learn to throw strikes. I think last year it was 13 walks in his last 17 innings pitched, or so, it was something like that, something absurd where he just couldn't throw the ball over the plate. But the offense is what the offense is, right? I mean, they poured a lot of money into the offense, and is it a great offense? No, but it should be above average this year. Ramos has got to figure out a way just to be a mediocre left fielder. Last year
he was horrid last year.
Horrible. He was really bad. So, and you can't do that. I mean, and Flem made this point too, and I agree with him. Everything he got at the plate, he gave back in the field. It was like, so it was a net. It was a net even. Like, hey, great, 20 home runs, all this, but look how many runs you're giving up out in the outfield. So,
and then some.
Yeah, and then for you, yeah, and then some, foot long, and then some.
And then some.
No, I think you're right, but yeah, the pitching is like where I think they're going to have to look. Absolutely.
Let's finish up on some. Well, one more.
Yeah, go ahead.
What do you think of Eldridge? What do you think of Eldridge? I mean, do you think is Eldridge going to make it? Because he hit 107, he struck out a ton. Yep. He makes Belts look like like he's got a tiny strike zone like Ricky Henderson. Because he's seriously straight up and down. He's got a massive strike zone. Do you believe in Eldridge, or is Eldridge just another Giants prospect that's going to come and go?
I think it's too early to tell. Let's give a half a year. So we can get comfortable. I mean, no one can understand what it's like to go up there and play in the big leagues and be as touted as he was, and the Giant fans hunger for another one of those guys. They got one in Ramos, who's been playing really, really well for him. Patrick Bailey, kind of a different circumstance because he's more of like his value is more catching than hitting, although he hit better at the end of the last year. But so like there's a lot of hopes on this guy. And he had to adjust to that and come up and face big league pitching. So I give him at least another half a year to see what he's like. He does make hard contact. Can he make it enough? Don't know. I mean, you're a prospect until you're not a prospect. And I'd say he's still kind of in the prospect stage. But yeah, I mean, that would give them another bat in the lineup. That would be fantastic. Can he make it though? I wish I had an answer for you, Krug. I mean, he flew up through the system, and he seemed to do very well at every single level. Yeah, every level he was at. So it just now, some guys come up here and tear it up right away. But most guys, it takes a little bit of time to kind of understand what pitchers are trying to do to you, kind of absorb the clubhouse too, being able to talk to all the guys, learn from the guys, watch the games, all those sort of things. We want things so quick nowadays, whether it's a rookie that comes up from college football or college basketball. We want it now. And if you can't do it now, then we'll move on to the next thing. And they got to do it now. And then we'll move on to the next player. You got to give these guys some time, man. When they're like 19, 20 years old, it's like not everybody's like Macklin Celebrini, 19, and comes up and is tearing the league up. Like that doesn't.
How great is that kid? Wow,
oh, he's fantastic. That goal he had last night. We were at the game, was just incredible. But they don't do that. That's not normal. People expect that to be normal. It's not. So I always try to tell fans again, take a breath, slow down, give him time to learn. Give him at least a year before you try to make a decision on what his future holds for the next 8 or 9 years. So, and he shouldn't have that as much pressure. Like, they're not going to say, hey, middle of the order, do it. I mean, you got Devers, Adames, Chapman, other guys in the middle of the order, Ramos in the middle of the order. He can bat like 7th. Just put him 7th, a little less pressure in that situation. So obviously we all have high hopes that he'll be able to play and he'll be able to be a 30, 35 home run guy for years to come, but don't know yet.
I don't know if they know yet. I think that's why
I'm sure they don't.
They were open-minded about maybe dealing him at the winter meetings. It didn't happen, but I think he might have been out there if somebody wanted to make a big deal for him. Let's talk college football playoff. The 12-team playoff begins on Friday. Indiana, Ohio State, Georgia, Texas Tech are getting the byes. We get Oklahoma, Alabama on Friday. The winner gets Indiana in the Rose Bowl. Then we get Miami A&M. The winner gets Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl. We get Tulane, Ole Miss. The winner gets Georgia in the Sugar. And then we get James Madison, who's 12-1 against Oregon. The winner gets Texas Tech in the Orange Bowl. What do you think? I mean, I watch A&M every week. They have a really good team, but then they get in the game with Texas and they look terrible. But they're really, really deep and talented. There's a lot of NFL players on that A&M team. How do you see those first 4 games? I mean, Oregon and Ole Miss are big favorites, but I mean, A&M Miami might be one of the best games. Oklahoma Alabama might be one of the best games.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to quiz you before we move on. James Madison and Tulane. What are their nicknames?
Like Roadrunner or something. I don't know.
God damn it,
Knights. I don't know.
Tulane Green Wave.
Green Wave. Okay. Green
James
Wave.
Madison. The Dukes.
The Dukes. I should know that because my nephew went there.
And you could say it like Trading Places. The Dukes.
Let's bet $1.
Yeah, exactly. The Dukes. We don't need to talk about those 2 games because they're both going to get smacked. And then the worst part about it is Tulane Miss. Ole Miss is a rematch. Like, I don't mind the Bama-Oklahoma rematch, but good Lord. I got the rematch of Ole Miss beat down of Tulane 45-10 earlier this year. First off, they need to get rid of the small guys. I was a big proponent of having at least one group of 5 team in the 12-team playoff. I don't think that way anymore. There's only 12 teams. That's it. It's not 64 teams at the basketball tournament. Smaller teams have a better chance in basketball of beating big boys than football does. So look, I'd love to give these guys a chance, but not if it's going to be 12 teams. Just you can't do it. It needs to be the 12 best teams. Notre Dame deserves to be in, and maybe Vanderbilt, maybe Texas, those teams. But as far as who is in, boy, the A&M Miami one's really, really tough. Really tough. I mean, when the Hurricanes have lost, Beck has thrown picks. Right. He's sprayed the ball all around the field.
He's completing 75%.
Yeah.
He does throw picks.
I mean, he's been good throughout the better part of the year, but against SMU and Louisville, I forget, it combined 7 picks, maybe 6-7 picks, something like that. So A&M's got a really good defense. They can get to the quarterback. The one guy to look out for Miami on the offensive end is Tony. He's like really electric. I think he's a freshman, but he's dynamic. So who can make big plays? Can Tony make a big play? Can Marcel Reed make a big play with his feet? He gets out in the open court. He is really, really tough to stop. I mean, I would favor. I think that's about right. I mean, A&M 3.5, whatever it is. The Bama Oklahoma one's interesting because Oklahoma outgained them 2-.
Great defense.
Great D. And Mateer, when he's right, is pretty damn good. Like, I'll go back to the Pop Warner thing. They ask him to do everything. Here, throw it, run it, throw it, run it, throw it, run it. Just do it all for us, please. And sometimes he's kind of able to, sometimes not. They get outgained 2-1 when they were in Tuscaloosa. It's like 400 yards to 200 yards in the game. They won because of turnovers. I want to say one of them was a pick 6 that Tyler Simpson threw. So it's interesting because neither team can run. No, neither of these teams. You think of Oklahoma and Alabama being able to run the football. They can't run the football. Neither of them can run the football. Mateer is more of a dual threat guy than Simpson, and Simpson hasn't been good for maybe a month. I don't know what happened to him, but he just hasn't been very good. They might have, outside of Ohio State, the two best receivers in Bernard and Williams. I know Jam Miller's supposed to come back this week at running back, so maybe that'll help him run it a little bit. Boy, I guess I would take Bama in this one just because I outgained him 2-1, but I would not feel comfortable. The one team, Krug, I like to win the whole thing, if I'm playing odds, Texas Tech.
What a D line. What a D line they have.
And offensive line. Krug, they're like physical. It's like, whoa, wait. Who are these
really
guys?
Good. They're really good.
Who's Texas Tech? Where's the Michael Crabtree Texas Tech team that just throws it around, and Mike Leach is out there? RIP, of course. Love Mike Leach.
Pirate.
Throws it around. Cliff Kingsbury. They're like, let's throw it 75 times a game. This is a smash mouth football team. They got 3 running backs that run for over 5 yards a carry. They got 4 receivers that have over 40 catches and 5 touchdowns, minimum 5 touchdowns. And their defensive line, led by Bailey, is phenomenal. They're just like, they're not what you'd expect from a Texas Tech Big 12 football team. Do I think they're going to win? Probably not. But for 10, 12-1, 14-1, whatever it is, I think they're worth a shot.
No, I like Texas Tech too. I like Georgia. I think Georgia's just playing at a really high level right now.
I just don't trust Stockton.
Yeah, I hear you.
I don't trust him, and they don't run the ball all that well either. It's weird. There's teams this year that a lot of them don't run the ball all that well. Georgia's defense has been really good the last month and a half, but I don't know. I mean, Gunnar Stockton, to me, I guess. I mean, I love Kirby Smart's great, and in a big game, I definitely trust Kirby Smart to push all the right buttons. But Gunnar Stockton, to me, is just that's a no-go. It wouldn't surprise me at all if it was Indiana-Ohio State rematch, because that was a fun game, but this will be for all the marbles, and you get the Heisman Trophy winner Fernando Mendoza and the best wide receiver crew in the country in Tate and Smith, and then the best defense in the country, I think, too. But I talked about this yesterday, Krug. Indiana,
they're loaded.
Maybe the greatest surprise, the most what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of it right now, but it's the greatest sports story in maybe my lifetime in terms of a team coming from nowhere and doing something. Like, this was the worst team in college football for 100 years. They just passed up Wake Forest with winning percentage over the last couple years. Like, they are rancid. I keep telling everybody, Indiana football was Antoine Randall L. and Michael Penix for a year before he transferred to Washington. That was it. They're number one.
When we were back in college or high school, I mean, they had Anthony Thompson. Remember? Anthony was like 88.
Anthony Thompson, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago. He was really good. But, I mean, Mendoza's awesome. Carter Smith, the offensive tackle, is really, really good.
Yep.
The receiver, Surratt is good.
Yeah, Surratt's good.
The corner, D'Angelo Pons, is big time.
Yep.
The short defensive end, Mikhail Kamara, he's for sure NFL. So they get some dudes. They get some guys.
They do have dudes, but they shouldn't have dudes. How do they get dudes? I mean, Cignetti.
Transfer portal.
But I know. But I mean, like, who the fuck wants to go to Indiana?
I know.
They play football. It's like somebody walking in to LaSalle basketball, and all of a sudden, like 2 years later, they're like the number 3 team in the nation. They're just like killing everybody. It's like, what? Where did this come from? Like, you could almost, if you were to say UCLA is as bad as they've been the last couple weeks, you would buy it. They've been to some Rose Bowls. They have some history. You know, Aikman, we could sit here and go back and forth and name 20, 30 players UCLA's past and some of the teams that they've had. You could name Purdue, Drew Brees, Tiller, the coach. I mean, basketball on grass, went to the Rose Bowl. Like, you could do that with a lot of different schools, right? Indiana, you can't, because Indiana has been at the bottom of the barrel forever. And Cignetti comes in, Mr. Google me, and just, I don't know how he did it. I don't know how he got Indiana to pony up for NIL. I don't know how he's able to just see what he sees on tape and go, let's get that guy to the portal. Let's get that guy to the portal. Let's get that guy to the portal. And then put it all together and win a conference that has Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State, Wisconsin, who's fallen on hard times, but they've been to a lot of Rose Bowls. I mean, there's just no way Indiana does that. And people just are like, oh, Indiana's number one. And I say it too, but I also think to myself, wait a minute. We may be sleeping on one of the greatest resurrections. I don't even know if it's a resurrection because they were never fucking alive. Like, this is like a birth. It's like a birth of Indiana football. It's not even a rebirth because they didn't even have a birth. Like,
right.
It's like, where'd these guys come from? It's like, what?
What's next? Are we gonna? Is Georgetown football gonna show up and suddenly? I was shocked.
It's unbelievable.
When Florida had all those good basketball teams, I was like, this is strange.
Back to back when they were beating UCLA.
Yeah. You saw Mendoza? I mean, you've seen him as a player, but you also saw him interviewed. Is he too corny to lead an NFL team? Because he is kind of corny. He's not. I don't know that any of these badass guys on the D line are going to be like, man, Fernando. But you never know. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd be curious to see where. Like, let's go back to the Trevor Lawrence draft, where it's him and Wilson and Trey Lance and Mac Jones and Justin Fields, I believe. It's funny because we say this every single time. But you're like, is it going to happen again? Every single time there'll be like 5 quarterbacks drafted in the first round. Maybe 2 of them will hit. Maybe. Right. You're just not sure which one. Now, I'm not so sure any of them hit in that draft. I'm not even so sure you could say, yeah, Lawrence was the right pick at number 1. The other 4 for sure, you could say, let's give Jones another year or 2. Maybe he resurrected his career. But Mendoza, like, where would he go in that draft? Like, would he go ahead of Lance? Would he go ahead of Wilson? Would he go behind Field? Like,
he probably would have gone 2. Maybe. I
don't know.
He's big.
He is big, but is he going to go number 1 because the other quarterbacks aren't that great? Like, and people are so quarterback needy. They're like, they know if you don't have a quarterback, you don't have anything. Yeah. That's why these teams reach for quarterbacks. I mean, that's why the Niners gave up 3, or I always say 2 first because they got a first back and Lance. But anyway, whatever it is, they gave up the equity. They invested to get Lance.
They invested 3 ones.
They invested 3 ones, but of course they got the 1 back to draft Lance. So anyway, whatever. But they did it because they know you need a quarterback. They weren't going to be drafting that high for a while. So they rolled the dice and took a chance and thought, hey, we're going to have a quarterback on a rookie salary structure. That way we'll be able to load up. Didn't work out until they got Purdy. Then it did work out. But you got to have a quarterback. Yeah, so some team's going to – but I can't sit here and tell you I think Mendoza is going to be really good. I have no idea. Like, I have zero idea, zero confidence in saying that Mendoza – will be on a team that's in the playoffs in like 3 years. No, I have no clue how good he's going to be. Is he corny? Absolutely. I guess you could be. I guess you could be corny and win. But I don't know. But the fact that we're talking about a quarterback from Indiana that won the Heisman, I mean, it just stop. Like something that the earth is tilted. It's off the axis. Yeah, like I'm just not. My bearings are not straight right here. I'm 60 years old, and this has never happened before. So I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
All right, let's finish up with some bowl picks.
Yeah,
I love bowl games. I watch all the bowl games. These are my favorite 3 angles in the bowl games. Okay. I like BYU minus. I love BYU, and they've been really good all year. They got beat bad by Texas Tech, but Texas Tech, as you said, is freaking loaded. BYU minus 4.5 over Haynes King and G-Tech in the Pop-Tart Bowl. I like that one. I like Duke with Mensa, the quarterback, minus 2.5 over ASU in the Sun Bowl out in El Paso. And then I like your Wildcats over SMU in the Holiday Bowl. They're only given 3. I like Arizona. I'm a big Fafita fan. I know he's a college guy, he's not a pro guy, but I think he's a winner, man. I've always loved Noah Fafita. Jacob Cowing talks really highly of him. I like Arizona minus the 3 against SMU in the Holiday Bowl. Is there a bowl angle or a bowl side that you like? This, I know.
God, I mean, it's so hard now because you just don't know who's going to play.
Right.
I have no idea who all the opt-outs are. And I mean, I used to bet like 10, 12 games. Like as soon as the bowl lines come out, I would have an idea of who I wanted to bet and look at the lines and say, okay, this is who I'm taking. If it's this number, I'm going to take this. Now, I mean, I usually, if I bet bowl games, I'll usually do a day a game sometimes because, you know, it's happened before where you put a wager down, and you're like, oh, he's not playing. Oh, great. So all of a sudden, you know, I got a line where I'm laying 3 and now I could have been getting 4 because of all the play. So it's like, I just don't know. And I haven't done as much research as I used to do, like, because you really got to dig into this thing. You got to go to the local newspapers, the beat reporters that are following these teams to try to get all the information, who's playing, who's not playing, who's opting out, all that. So I kind of like, I want to take Alabama. I don't know that I'm going to because they just have not been in good form. I watched them play in Tuscaloosa. They were better. They were better than Oklahoma, and I thought decidedly better than Oklahoma. It's just turnovers just wrecked them. But I just can't take them the way they've played the last month. I mean, they just have not been. They went to that meat grinder of a schedule, got through that, you know, beating Georgia, beating Vanderbilt, beating Missouri, beating Tennessee. And then it started with South Carolina, where they had to scuffle to beat South Carolina. And then they had to scuffle to beat Auburn. Although I'll give them a little bit of break on that because those rivalry games are always tough. Although I did think Kalen DeBoer lost his marbles going for it on 4th and 2. I was like, what are you doing? Kick the field goal. It's like amazing. It's like you're at the 2-yard line. You're not the half-yard line, and I'm getting a touchdown and winning. So whatever. But I don't think that was the right move.
Yeah.
But I like your Duke pick. If everybody's playing. There was one game
I saw Duke at Cal. I brought the boys out to see Duke when they came out to Berkeley. Cal got up 14-0, Tom, and Duke went on 35 unanswered.
Yeah, I did. I watched that game on TV. Yeah, they just because I had Cal. I'm like, what happened?
Yeah.
I go, what happened? Did you guys forget how to play football in the last 5 minutes?
They hit the brakes. I mean, it was like crazy.
They definitely hit the brakes. I kind of like Washington State. Maybe as an underdog over Utah. Again, I wish I could
Utes are great in their place, but they're not as great in the neutral site. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? I always take the military academies.
Yeah.
But God, those lines have moved a ton.
It's a big number for Army, isn't it?
Army's 9.5. I want to say Navy's around 4. If I'm not mistaken, and that one opened at Navy getting 3 or 4, so that's I think that's moved 10 points, 8, 9, 10 points, something like. So I'm like, do I really want to do that? Here's one that interests me. Iowa interests me getting points. Now
I like Iowa too. Great team.
Sucks because Iowa was getting 6.
They're rugged.
A week ago. Now they're getting 4.5, which kind of sucks. But yes, they run the ball. The clock's going to be short. And I know Vanderbilt's going to be pumped to be there, and their guys are probably going to play. And Diego Pavia, as soon as he gets done taking his foot out of his fucking mouth, will suit up and play against Iowa. But there is something about Iowa getting points that's intriguing because you know one thing about Iowa, they're going to be physical, they're going to play defense, they're going to shorten the game a little bit. And I that one jumped out at me. So I'll probably take Iowa. Again, I'm not super thrilled that because I don't take things early on, because when I looked at that, I go 6. I go, that sounds like a pretty good number. And then you get in your head a little bit. You're like, I could have had 6. Do I want to take 4.5? And then usually it doesn't matter. Every once in a while it will get you where it lands on 5. You're like, son of a bitch. I lost and I could have won. So, but that's definitely I would take them, and I would take Texas Tech to win the championship, just a little bit. I might do that just to have a little interest in those games.
Dude, nobody can hang with Texas Tech at all. I mean, they just wear you down. They're really good on all 3 levels of their defense. They're really good on the line of scrimmage. Yeah, Texas Tech. I mean, Chris Kasarik is fired up about his Red Raiders, and we'll see.
His Red Raiders. Well, the one that got me on Texas Tech was the Utah game. Utah was like 2-3 point favorite, and I go, well, I mean, Utah is just going to maul him, right? Kyle Whittingham, physical. Utah had good special teams. Like, they're not going to beat themselves. And again, they're super physical, which, the Big 12 isn't super physical. So I was like, oh, I'll take you. So I took Utah. After the first quarter, I go, oh boy, I'm in trouble here.
Yeah,
I'm in trouble. I go Texas Tech's more physical than they are. And I wasn't. Again, it's Texas Tech. I'm not used to seeing that. So, and then I watched them against BYU. I was like, this team, it's a good football team. And again, I'm not saying they're going to win. I'm just saying for the odds that are presented. Like, I don't want Indiana or Ohio State. It's not that the odds aren't good enough for me. And I think Oregon maybe has an outside chance at winning it if the receiving core gets healthy, because they're pretty physical on D. Like, Dan Lanning's an SEC guy, and he's kind of molded that team into his image. Like, it's physical football, and I like Lanning a lot. I think he's really smart. Dante Morris had a really nice year, but they got to get the wide receiving crew healthy. So I think I wouldn't take Georgia. I'm not as optimistic as you are, just because I'm not a huge Gunnar Stockton guy. And again, Indiana, Ohio State are out because the odds are too low. The two teams I would look at that I think have a chance, Texas Tech and Oregon. And I like Texas Tech a little bit more than Oregon. But those are the two teams based on the odds that I feel like I'm getting a little bang for my buck that I may invest a little bit in.
That Oregon offensive line with Pregnon and Isaiah World and Whittington running it, that's a good team for sure.
Yeah, they got like three running backs that are really, really good.
Yeah, seriously. And that's just a really loaded football team. I mean, they are really, really good on all phases of the game. We should tell everybody we're brought to you by Habbas Law, 1-800-INJURED. They will fight to make it right. Thanks to Omar and Tarek Habbas for being proud sponsors of the Krueger Show. Let's hit our supers. We got a few more, and then we'll bolt for the door here.
All right.
And let's see. We got this one. Here we go. We got this one from Bill Kennedy. He says, F you, Larry. This is better than radio. Watch anytime. There you go. We got this one from TKV Bus. He says, Tommy, have Krug tell his story about how you got to enjoy the game more and how Kent put hands on Krug. So he says, no hurry, boys, in the back.
You better get to that. That dude's giving you $10.
I know. So this.
How come it's always $9.99 or $5? Can't they just make it 10?
They can. I don't know.
I mean, why do they just do the penny thing? I mean, why is it like, what are we buying? What are you buying? Gas here? Can I give you 9/10 of a penny too? Can I give you like $5.79 and 9/10?
Yeah, I feel like I'm watching like a Price is Right or something. It's like it's higher, lower.
Well, if we flipped it upside down, he could be Damien. Yeah. Omen 2. Go ahead, tell your story.
So you and Ralph were on the air. Kent was playing for the Astros. I was there to get some sound. I walked into the Astros clubhouse, and there's 5 writers there, but Kent is looking right at me. And he looks at me, and he's like, all you do, he's looking right at me, is bitch about the game. All you do is bitch about the game. Enjoy the game more. Enjoy the game more. And he's like, he's not looking at anybody else. It got so uncomfortable, the writers kind of looked at me. And then I'm saying nothing. I'm just kind of rolling my eyes. And then he goes into this soliloquy, and he's like, you people here in the Bay Area are so stupid to pay these real estate prices. Why are you so stupid? So I get the recording. I walk down to the bunker. I roll it back to the studio, and I say to the guy in the bullpen, I'm like, tell Ralph he's got to play these cuts. It's outrageous. So then I hear, Tom, let's play these. Let's go. You can't talk some trash. So you guys played it over and over and over.
We did.
Now it's 7:15. The game's on. Now batting for your Houston Astros, Jeff Kent. Boo! It's a chorus of boos. I mean, KNPR you guys had such fat ratings at that point in history that everybody heard it. Everybody heard it. Next day, I go back in the clubhouse, and he comes up to me, kind of grabs my shirt. I grab him. We're up against the wall, and I'm like, he's like, what'd you do? He goes, you're the reason I got booed last night. I'm like, Jeff, I can see this microphone. If you talk in this side, nothing happens. But if you talk in that side, it records you, and then the PR guy's like, hey, maybe it'd be best if you just left. So I told that story a couple weeks ago. What do you think?
Jeff is he's something else. I tried to get him to admit, had him on a couple of days ago, tried to get him to admit that he rode a motorcycle in spring training, that he didn't fucking fall off a truck. The guy still to this day will not admit it. Although he did say only 2 people know the story and they're sworn to silence. So he did at least admit that wasn't the true story. Like, we all know this, right? It's like when Pete Rose said, I bet on baseball. We're like, well, no shit. We've known that forever. Like, if Jeff would ever come out and say, yeah, I was riding a motorcycle, we'd say, well, no shit. We know you were. We know you weren't. Nobody climbs on their truck to watch their truck. So nobody was buying that. So the fact that he said only 2 people know it and they'll never tell, like, so obviously we know, but he kind of confirmed without confirming that, yeah, he wasn't on his truck watching it. But man, that guy, we're talking like what, 20 years ago. Like, he would still not give that story up. I thought for sure he would go, okay, Tommy, I'll give it to you. Nope, the guy's still holding on to that story, which is the best. I gotta respect him for that.
Sabes knows the truth. Ned knows the truth. And I said to Jeff, I know that you fell off your motorcycle doing wheelies. And I go, but I've got to interview you on KBR. So I'm going to ask you 3 or 4 questions about it. And then and after that, I'll leave it alone. So I asked him the 3 or 4 questions. 1 week later, Ralph's like, got him on your guys' show. He grilled him for an hour about it. And Jeff would not give it up. He would not give it up, even to Ralph. And Ralph's like, I thought I could get it. I really thought I could get it. I'm like, no, Ralph, he didn't get it. A couple last ones here. We got this one also from TK. He says, Larry was all Jeff. When you talk into this side of the microphone, it records. Smash the like, homies. We got this one also. Same guy. He says, Tommy, little respect for Mendoza. You do know where he played high school ball.
Isn't he from?
I don't. Is he from Arizona?
Miami? I thought he was a Miami kid. I don't know. I'm sorry.
I don't know either.
TK VW bus. Do you still have a VW bus? VW buses are cool.
It just rolls off the tongue.
In the back. No. You're misinterpreting me. It's not that I don't have respect for Mendoza. I have the ultimate respect for him and what he's done. It would have been nice if Cal could have kept him, although it looks like they got a nice quarterback now. But I'm just wondering how good he is, because it's like he's not the reason they're as good as they are. He's part of it, but they're physical as hell. Their defense is physical. Hemby can run the ball. Surratt's a really good receiver. And Mendoza's a big part of it. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, he is.
But they were pretty good last year with a guy named O'Rourke, and not as good as they are this year. But this is more about the team and the coach than it is Mendoza. And like I said, I think Mendoza's good. I like him. He deserved to win the Heisman in my estimation. I just don't know. Like, when I watch him play, I'm like, is that guy going to be in the playoffs in 3 years? Is that a guy you look at and go, that's a number 1 quarterback? That guy got the job. Like, I don't know. Yeah, but I do have a lot of respect for that kid.
He went to Christopher Columbus High School in Miami. So there you go.
So I got the city right. I mean, come on, give me a break on that, huh? I mean, do I get some points for knowing where the Indiana quarterback, what city he went to high school in? I mean, good Lord. How the hell am I supposed to know? I wasn't down there. I didn't go there for a visit. Jeez. We
got this one from Fozzie. He says, make this a weekly hit. Hey, man, I love Tommy T. We could do this anytime, all the time. I'm a big fan. Tell me, Tommy, how long has your channel been going? Everybody, by the way, we got over almost 1,600 people watching this live right now on various platforms. Everybody take a second, hit like and subscribe on both channels. If you haven't subscribed to Tommy's channel, subscribe. These channels take a while to build up for sure. It's a slow build. Obviously, Tom's going to have a very successful channel because he's been doing this for a long time and he's got a lot to add. But what month did you start the channel, Tom? Or is it a year old already? Is it 2 years?
It's a great question. No, it's a year at most. In fact, I don't think it's a year until January. I think we started it in January. So yeah, no, it's been fun. There are days you look and go, God, I wish the numbers would grow quicker. I wish this would be what it is like immediately. But like I just have fun doing it. I really do. It's fun to work with Max and Ogden, and it's fun to talk to people that I talk to all the time. I mean, I've talked to these guys on the air for 28 years. Brent Jones talked to all the time. He said, absolutely, I'll come on once a week, talk Niner football. Steve Kerr is one of my best friends. He comes on every other week. He probably would come on every week if I asked him, but I was like, you're coaching. You don't need to come on and mess with me for once a week. So we do it once every other week. I've had Dave Fleming on a couple times. Barkley was on. Like I said, Breen was on. Tarico was on. Like a lot of people that I worked with. Brent Musburger, who I love. I love Brent. It was so much fun having Brent on. He was one of my partners at ESPN. So all these people that I've met, had a chance to work with, had a chance to talk to throughout the course of my media career, I just get a chance to talk to them. So that's why I do it in the backyard. It's relaxed. It's fun. I put on the fountain, maybe the fire at night if we're out there at night, and just sit back and talk sports. I get a chance to talk sports. I got to have some kind of outlet to talk sports. My wife didn't want to talk with me. My son might talk with me a little bit, maybe, but I mean, he'd like to talk a little bit too. So he's like, hey, well, you go do your own thing. So, yeah, I mean, look, I tell people, I go, it's a lot more fun than doing the radio. A lot less lucrative, a lot more fun. So that's just the way it goes. But as long as I'm having fun and hopefully making people laugh and getting able to and being able to talk sports, I'll keep doing it.
Well, I'll say this. It may start off being less lucrative than the radio, but eventually it's going to be as lucrative, if not more. Stefan says, doubt we lose even once more through the Super Bowl. Okay, we got this one again. Right. We got this one from correction. Mendoza played ball at Cal Berkeley. Yes,
well, I think we said high school.
I think we were talking about high school before.
We were talking about high school. We know he played at Berkeley.
We saw him at Cal. We were here.
We saw him at Berkeley.
Tom could get to the stadium from his house in 12 minutes or something like that.
I used to be able to throw a rock there. No, I'm not that close. not that close to Berkeley, but yes, I know where he played college ball. Absolutely.
By the way, we do have to discuss after the show. My sponsor, Plank Oakland, would like to be a sponsor of the Tom Tolbert show, and they just reached out to me and expressed that. So we'll share those connections, and you can talk to the great Henry Lamb over.
They got a good beer selection over there too.
They got 49 beers on tap.
They got a nice. I wonder 49. I wonder if they did that on purpose.
Exactly, and they've got a 15,000 square foot outdoor beer garden. I mean, good weather.
I've been there.
Plank's cool. Plank's a nice spot.
I've been there. They got the don't they have like a bowling alley there? And
12 lanes of bowling. Yes.
Yeah, they got like tons of TV. It's a cool place to go watch a game, hang out in the beer garden, and like I said, the beer selection's pretty nice over there. And especially when the weather's good, you could sit out and watch the boats go by and just kind of hang out, have a beer, and maybe go to Scott's or another restaurant, grab yourself a meal, or you can have your meal at Plank and have your beverages and enjoy Jack London. I haven't gone over there in a little bit, but Lori and I used to go over there all the time when we were younger. I mean, we'd go over to Jack London, go eat over there, go walk around over there. I want to say they had a bookstore over there. We go shop over there, just kind of mess around. So I haven't been over there in a little bit, but I have been to Plank with my kids for like a party. So it's a fun place to go hang out, especially if you're going to have like a big party.
Yeah.
You can get people over there. You can bowl. You can watch the game. You can have a couple beers. You can have some food and all that kind of stuff. Get your apps going. So no, it's a pretty cool place.
We'll talk. We'll talk after the show. Boxing Fan ×4 says, who's an ex-receiver that can fall late in the first round to target? You know, I'm a big fan of, and I don't know what you think of him, Tommy, but I like Jeremy Bernard from Alabama. The receiver. He's 6'1", 200-pound receiver. I like him. And I kind of like KC Concepcion from A&M, who's a kind of a burner. Concepcion.
Can I tell you what I used to tell you when we were sitting across from each other doing the show?
Nobody cares.
Can we fucking get through the season first? Can we fucking get through the season first? Now I understand. boxing fans giving you some money, so you want to answer them. I totally respect that. But Jesus, let's fucking make it the season. Like, too many times sports fans are jumping ahead in the calendar. It's like, good Lord, can we just get through the season first? And then we have like 4 months before we got the draft. That's all we're gonna have time to talk about is the draft. It'll be basketball. The draft will be there. Let's again. let's just enjoy the year. Enjoy it. They go by too fast. Okay, enjoy the season, and then when it's the off season, then we can move on to the off season.
It's like the song from Bush. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in,
breathe out, breathe in, breathe out.
Don Peralta says, thank you guys for a great show. Keep rocking, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Don.
And we got this one as well. Wait, where it is? There it is. Please get Rod Brooks on your shows. Rod's doing a great job on NBC Sports Bay Area, doing Niner post-game television. It's really cool to see him, and Warriors. Well, not just Niners and Warriors. So way to go, Rod. And we will reach out to Rod. Rod has done he's doing his quality hang, and I know he's doing a number of different things, but you guys did a thing with him and Paulie at, was it Longboard or someplace? That looked cool.
Longboard Pizza. I did it before a Warrior game. Before I was going over there to do the game, I stopped by, hung out with them for like 30 minutes. It wasn't quality, but it was okay. It was an okay hang. So I got a chance to see Rod and Tony and Paulie and all that. No, it was great to see those guys and hang out with those guys, and we're all a part of the Bay Area sports conglomerate, consigliere. I don't even know what the fuck it is. I always forget what it is. We got to shorten that to like 2 words, 4 words. The collective. Thank you. Like 4 words too many for me. It's too much to keep in my head. So they're doing a good job. And I love seeing them. I saw Rod at the Warrior game a couple nights ago when they were playing the T-Wolves. So no, that'd be fun.
Gee, that, I awesome stream. Thanks for coming by. We'd love to do something on the regular with you. We'll talk about it. And, I just want to say, it's like we got together on the radio. It was my radio dream to be your co-host for all those years coming on after was to, I listened to you and Ralph, and, we weren't a ratings hit for whatever reason. Maybe the pandemic had something to do with it. But I got to say, man, there's no person in our industry that I admire more than you. You are a natural. You've always been a natural doing this. You're even better in this than that because people can see you, and your humor, I think, comes out better when you can see the person's face. But dude, I just want to say, man, it's always been an incredible pleasure to broadcast with you. Nothing but admiration for you. The year plus that we got to spend together doing the show, we laughed together. I sadly had to bury both my parents that year. You were there for me, and I can't even tell you what that meant to have you and Rod and Tim there for me during that terrible time. You had tragedy in your family. We were there for you. We laughed together. We drank together. We cried together. And it was a full, year plus of emotion, a lot of difficult stuff. But man, I just want to say, man, I love you, and I love Lori and your family, your boys and your girl. I mean, they're just salt of the earth people. And I wish you nothing but success. If there's anything I can do to help you grow your channel, in fact, let's do that right now. Everybody take a time out, hit like and subscribe. There's almost 1,600 people in the room. There's, we got 60 some odd thousand people on the Krug show. If you've yet to hit like and subscribe over on Tom's channel, it's just the Tom Tolbert Show. Go over there right now, give him a like, give him a subscribe, help him build that thing up. It takes a while to do. And let's get that done for T today. And T, I just want to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's, man. I miss you. We had a great time there, an afternoon drive, but it ended too short. And I just want to say, I love you, bro. And I'm hoping that we get to do many more streams in the years ahead.
Fucking Christ, Larry. It sounded like you're doing a fucking telethon for me. Now, let's help T out and let's fucking get over there. And
Tom's dying.
If anybody has any bone marrow that maybe, Tom would be compatible with, maybe you can help Tom out with some of that. Maybe some platelet-rich fucking plasma. We can throw some of that.
Help Tom on his deathbed.
throw some of that his way too. No, I mean, back at you, man. We had a great time. I mean, ratings are what ratings are. You never know why you're going to have good ratings or bad ratings. I said that when Ralph and I were doing the show. I mean, we were pulling fucking 7s and 8s. I mean, we had monster numbers, and I think we did a really, really good show. But it's still, you don't know why. You just show up and laugh and have a good time and hope people get it. And sometimes it clicks, sometimes it doesn't. That's just the story. People always want to say, well, it was because of this, because of that, or it worked because of this. No, it's just sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So I had a really fun time with you and Rod. The only thing I ever wanted was to show up and be able to laugh and be there with people that I like. And I like both of you. And I had really good time with both of you guys. It would have been nice if it lasted a little bit longer, but it is what it is. We both had a good run. You move on. You start doing your thing. You're doing fantastic with your show. And I'm just starting to do mine. So, yeah, we'll do it again at some point. Absolutely. Now I get to go do something that I look forward to all the time. Go to the dentist. Who doesn't love going to the dentist? After, and you did this was, I'll give you this compliment. This was better than the dentist.
On that note, thanks to T, thanks to our sponsors, thanks to all of you guys. Peace.
Yeah, never met a man I've been scared of. Careful, you gon' get exactly what you